He starts with a song, he ends with income, and in between all that, he answers the one question that keeps every single online creator up at night. So yeah, let's dive into this blueprint for turning that frustrating little trickle of income into a predictable daily flow.
And that's it, isn't it? That's the question. But where's my money? You see all the hype, you see the gurus, you put in the work, but at the end of the day, you're just left asking this one thing. Well, this whole explainer, it's built to solve this exact problem. Not with some complicated new theory, but with a simple, repeatable system you can actually own for yourself.
Look, right now, you're in one of two states. You're either in the trickle, which feels totally random, super frustrating, and honestly, pretty exhausting. A sale here, a commission there. It feels like it's all based on luck. The goal, our goal, is to get to the flow. That's a systematic, predictable income stream that comes in every single day. And the way you get there, it isn't by working harder. It's by turning the right valve every single day. Now, what's so interesting about this whole approach is where it starts. It doesn't kick off with a sales pitch or a complicated funnel. It starts with a song. And this is what's called the edutainment mindset. The idea is so simple. If you make the process engaging, maybe even a little fun, consistency stops being a chore. It just becomes a natural byproduct. So edutainment, it's the core philosophy behind everything. It's about mashing up education with entertainment to create an experience that actually sticks in your brain. It makes it memorable. And here's the most important part. It inspires you to actually do something instead of just sitting there passively consuming more and more information. It's how you go from feeling totally overwhelmed to feeling empowered. And this right here, this illustrates the critical mindset shift you have to make. So many of us get stuck chasing shiny objects. We rent some hype from a guru, we get all excited, and then it just fizzles out. It's a dead end. The focus here is completely different. It's on building a legacy, creating long-term assets, skills, and systems that you yourself truly own. We're talking about self-sufficiency and creating value that can literally last for generations. So how do you actually do that? Well, it all comes back to this one central tool. Marco calls it the most valuable document in all of affiliate marketing. But it's not some kind of secret formula locked away in a vault. Nope. It's a simple, duplicatable blueprint that acts as your daily roadmap to predictable income. And the path forward is incredibly clear. Step 1, you get the document. Easy enough. Step 2, you use that document to get your own unique mega link, which is basically your personal affiliate link for the whole system. Step 3, that link unlocks your profit center, which is your personal dashboard for tracking commissions and getting exclusive training. And then, here's the most important part of all, step 4. You execute simple 10-minute actions every single day. That's it. The power is in how simple and duplicatable it is. All right, so having a blueprint is great, but does it actually work? This is where theory gets thrown out the window and reality takes over. In a live demonstration, people were able to earn their very first commissions right then and there on the spot just by following a few simple instructions. This is all about seeing income in real time, proving that the system actually delivers. Let's just break down exactly how this happened, because it's so simple. The viewers were given a link to a social media post. Step 1, they just had to write a meaningful comment, more than one word. Step 2, they copied that comment and submitted it into a system called Comment Pro. And boom, step 3, they earned a small commission. It's a direct reward for real engagement, not for spamming. And listen, this isn't just some hypothetical idea. By participating in this exact system, just by commenting on posts from other users, Markel himself earned $32. That's a real, tangible result from the simple daily actions that the system is built on. It's proof that all those tiny little trickles really do add up to a real flow. But here's the crucial point, so listen up. That small commission, that's not the real prize, not even close. It's just the key that starts the engine. The real value is that this simple action activates the social media algorithm. It tells it that your content is engaging, that boosts your visibility, it teaches you what kind of content actually works, and it gives you a model you can duplicate for your own business. It's basically a learning system disguised as an earning system. Okay, so the system is simple, and the proof is right there. But you and I both know what comes next, right? The excuses. All those mental roadblocks that stop us from ever taking action. So let's look at how this blueprint doesn't just address those excuses, it completely eliminates them. I mean, these probably sound a little familiar, don't they? I just don't have any time. The kids are running around like crazy, I can't possibly focus.
This is all just, it's too complicated for me. These are the classic excuses that keep people stuck and prevent them from ever reaching their goals. And this is the mindset that changes everything. See, the goal isn't to find some new motivation to work around your excuses. The goal is to build practical solutions that actively eliminate them, to turn your roadblocks into resources. And this is just, it's brilliant. The excuse is, the kids are distracting me. The solution? It's not a pep talk. It's a practical, creative business solution. Markel created a printable coloring book. You give it to the kids, and you have just created 30 minutes of focused work time for yourself. It proves the point. Business problems need business solutions. You know, all of this leads us to the ultimate goal of the entire system. It's not about creating an army of dependent followers who are just waiting for the next instruction. No, it's about empowering people to become self-sufficient founders. People who own their success, trying to empower you to the point where you don't even need it anymore. And in the end, it all comes back to this one really powerful idea. That frustrating little trickle of income, it only becomes a steady, predictable flow on the day you commit to touching the valve. And that valve? It's that small, consistent, daily action. It's not about one huge push. It's about the discipline of the daily turn. So, there you have it. The blueprint is here, the proof is real, and the excuses have been systematically eliminated. The only question left is the one that really matters. What are you going to do about it? What's your first move?
They keep telling you, stay motivated. Watch this. Listen to that. Get inspired. But what happens when the video ends? When the music fades? When nobody's clapping, watching, or waiting for you to win? What moves you then? I used to run on borrowed energy, quotes, speeches, people hyping me, yeah. Felt unstoppable for a moment, then I'd crash, like it was never in me. That's the problem with external fuel. It burn quick, don't last, don't rule. You dependent on a source outside, so when it disappears, so do you. I was chasing feelings, not building fire, waiting to feel ready instead of climbing higher. But readiness ain't a mood you catch, it's a discipline you wire. So I had to ask myself something different. If nobody ever told me keep going, would I answer that honestly? I realized purpose don't scream, it whispers. It ain't in the crowd, it's found in the mirror. It ain't an applause or validation checks. It's in what you do when there's nothing to flex. Motivation temporary, purpose permanent. One phase away, the other's inherent. You don't wake up feeling it every day, but purpose don't care how you feel anyway. It moves through you even when you're tired, even when life feel misaligned and wired. It's that quiet push you can't explain. I say do it again through the doubt and pain. So I stopped asking how do I feel and started asking what's real, what's mine to build, what's mine to create. That's when I found something stronger than fate. I don't need a reason, I am the reason. I am the reason. I don't need the feeling, I don't need the feeling. I move with meaning. No more waiting, no more waiting, no more chasing, no more chasing. Internal driver, that's what's leading. Yeah. Now I move like it's already decided. No hesitation, no need to be guided. I built a system inside of my soul that don't break down when I'm losing control. External noise don't shake my direction. I learned to operate without the connection. Not disconnected but self-sustained. Energy internal, never drained. I don't need hype, I don't need cheers. I done built this through blood, sweat, tears. Every rep carved into my frame. Now discipline calling me by name. This is what it looked like when purpose drive. You ain't just working, you feel alive. Even in struggle there's something deeper. You not just moving, you moving with meaning. Listen close. Purpose don't shout, it pulls. It don't beg, it demands. And once you feel it, you can't go back. There's gonna be days you don't feel like it. Do it anyway. There's gonna be days you question everything. Keep going anyway. Because the ones who make it ain't the most motivated. They the most committed. To something deeper than motivation. That's what's leading. When the world go quiet, when the noise disappear, when nobody's watching, that's when you find out if you really got it, or if you was just borrowing it.
There's a moment where motivation stops working, not because you're lazy, not because you don't want better, because the version of you trying to build the future is still carrying the same rusted mindset from the past. That's what this reel represents. A beginner sitting in the chair, heavy plates around him, fear,
Don't fight it.
excuses, doubt, confusion, all the invisible stuff people never see when they judge why somebody
trust
hasn't
the
started
process.
yet. But here's the part that hit me. A broke mindset doesn't always announce itself as weakness. Sometimes it sounds responsible. Sometimes it sounds realistic. Sometimes it sounds like, I'm just waiting until I know more. And before you know it, years pass while you keep calling fear preparation. In the Hustleverse, we're not just creating AI videos to look cool. We're using creativity to show people what's really happening inside them. Because the first replacement is not the tool. It's the thought process. Creativity clocks in, excuses clock out. Comment Hustle if you're ready to join the Hustleverse and learn how I'm creating cinematic AI content like this.
I give you food for action, don't choke on the truth. This lesson I prepare was made just for you. Feast up, I'll keep serving till the pot run dry. Got enough cooking to feed the whole country, no lie. Too many flavors, you know, I got what you like. Don't start beefing with me, you won't win this fight. If you come in peace, keep your teeth intact. I got a plan to get this cake, come grab a stack. Life could be sweet, if you listen, you'll see. Food for action on a platter, served fresh by me. I'm serving knowledge on plates, got the recipe down. A blend of hustle and wisdom, that's my sound. I'm feeding the masses, no crumbs, full course. But if you bring nothing to the table, find the door. Stop acting like you got beef, it won't taste right. This flavor's reserved for those ready.
Okay, family, we are live. We are live. And once again, I want to welcome you guys back to another episode of the Hustlers 10-Minute a Day Challenge. Today is Strong 54, day 2, and we are right at 15 minutes into today's challenge. So let's start by peeling the curtain back. Now, as usual, we want to expose the most valuable document in all of online marketing. And this document, once again, as usual, I tell you guys that this document has pulled me through so many situations, and hopefully it helps pull you through those situations also. Now, here in the Hustleverse, we study philosophy, we study mindset, we study, physical tools that you can actually use to build you a successful online business, right? And with that diversity, it may attract a lot of people and it may also repel a lot of people, right? But that's okay. You have to find a happy medium. So, for the right person that's looking for valuable content, valuable information, this is the place for you. Now, today, I don't want to keep you guys too long because, of course, we know what today is. Today is Training Day Tuesday. And on Training Day Tuesday, we have a live training that's hosted by one of my business partners, Mr. Wayne Crow. And that should be occurring at 2 p.m. EST time. So I'm not going to go too heavy today. And, but still, but still, I have to give you some valuable training. Training that's, disguised as edutainment, right? So we provide you with the edutainment and hopefully you find or you see where I'm providing the value to you to give you those light bulb moments. Now, today, I was looking at a specific article, right? And that particular article was very interesting to me. And I'm gonna go straight to it. I'm not gonna go to uh, the new tab section so that we can look at the different stories trending from today. I'm gonna go straight to what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Now, this article right here, it says it was updated about 15 hours ago. And it is a story that's talking about how passion is overrated. This CEO didn't build her career doing what she loved and says you shouldn't either. Now, this is very interesting to me because, I always talk to you guys about building a business based off of things that you like and love to do, things that you are actually passionate about. Even in a lot of my mastermind sessions, when I'm talking to people, I hear, what the coach might be saying, what the coach is telling them to do. And, I hear it and I understand why they're saying it. But I'm always thinking in the back of my mind, and sometimes I have to say it out loud. But what about what that person cares about? What about what they are actually skilled at doing? What about building a business that's based off of something that they like and love and that they have a passion for and that they're actually skilled in? So most importantly is that they are actually skilled in that particular you know niche, whatever it is that they're going to promote. If they're promoting a product or service, something physical, something digital, let it be something that actually have an insight to. Now, I wanted to go over this article right here because it is interesting. And we always like to pull information that gives us opposing opinions from what we might already previously believe. And one of the biggest things that's going to help you become successful in your online business is understanding that you're not going to always have the right answer. You're not going to be always the best source of information. It's not going to always be your way or the highway, because the highway could lead to nowhere. It could lead to no success at all. It could lead to you just going around in circles because you think that you are the end all be all and that nobody else has a solution for you. So let's talk about this, and let's look at what's talked about in this article. So it says Sylvia Kwan's dream job was not to run a financial, technology, and wealth management firm. Now, that's understandable. I don't think too many people wake up in the morning and they think, I'm going to be a financial, technology, and wealth management firm owner. That doesn't sound like something that you hear people have passion for. Usually it's things like, hey, I want to be a singer, I want to be an actor, I want to play basketball, I want to play football, I want to do something that, in some way is widely looked at by a vast amount of people and it brings them excitement and enjoyment. something that's in the public eye usually is something that somebody says that they're passionate about. And right here it says here, it says if the Elevest CEO had pursued her passion, she would be making ice cream and baking. Okay, so that's a great thing to be passionate about. That's a great thing to like and love to do. Now, I don't know about you, but I think I know that a lot more people are interested in in ice cream and baking as compared to financial technology. If you were to say, "Hey, I'm selling you this or that," I think people would easily, more readily go with the ice cream and baked goods, right? So, from a product sales perspective, you know, one category might look a little bit more profitable than the other, depending on, what type of products and services you actually create. So she says, I love to bake. She told Market Watch. I dream about opening up a bakery and making all these baked goods, but I know on day two, I'll hate it because I'll have to make a living out of it. All right. So there's some key terms in here that she's saying that I want you guys to grasp. I want you to take hold of, and I want you to really pay attention to, because this is speaking to a specific group of people. And as I'm looking through it and I'm reading it, I'm saying to myself, it doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't apply to my target audience. It doesn't apply to you. It doesn't apply to the person that's looking to build an online business. It's applying to someone who's looking to, as it says, make a living out of it. So when it comes to making a living out of something, that usually falls into the category of it being a job or work. So let's go a little deeper. So it says counterintuitive to lots of career guidance. Kwan advises people not to follow their passion. Passion is overrated, she said. I do not like the advice. Follow your passion and you'll be successful. I didn't do that. Now, that was for her. Now, we always talk about what's for one person may not necessarily be for everybody else. So don't take what was her perfect route and say that, hey, that must be the best route. That's the route that I have to take also, right? Because every individual is different, and depending on their skills and talents and their personal beliefs, it can be completely different for you. So here's the advice. It says instead, pick a career that utilizes your strengths and that you at least mildly enjoy. It's much less pressure to find work that you're good at and that you like, according to Kwan. Okay, once again, so the key word is in there. So the one thing that stuck out to me was that it says right here, it's much less pressure to find work. Work. Work, in my opinion, in the way I look at it and the way I read it, it translates into employment, being an employee that works at a place that usually puts in 40 hours a week and this, that, and the third, right? And that usually doesn't have a control over their time or what they actually get to do. This is what they actually have to do. And it says here, let's go a little deeper. She isn't alone in finding the follow your passion mantra tired and trite. Businessman and billionaire Mark Cuban encourages young workers to pay attention to where they put their time and effort. Let's say you're passionate about interior design and you spending at least 40 hours a week on it. If not, you're better off pursuing that as a hobby instead of as full-time work. Once again, I look at this and I say it's speaking to a specific type of person. So right here, if it says, hey, you're spending at least 40 hours a week on it, what does that go back to? To me, that sounds like a work week. That sounds like an employee. Somebody that's doing work for 40 hours a week to retire on, as they used to say, you do the 40 plan. So you work 40 hours a week for 40 years to retire off of 40% of what you already weren't satisfied with. So this right here, 40 hours a week, if you're not spending at least 40 hours a week on it, meaning that if you're not spending a full-time job, which nowadays is this really full-time hours, some people work 50, some people work 60 hours nowadays, right? So if you're not already treating this like a full-time job, then you're better off pursuing that as a hobby instead of as full-time work. Once again, as a full-time job. So it's talking, in my opinion, it's talking to people that want to be employees in a specific field. Do you want to make a living out of what you're passionate about, what you like and love to do, and do it in a way that you're working for someone? You're working 40 hours a week, a shift. You're having to show up to a place that you really don't want to have to be in. You have to listen to a boss that you really don't want to listen to. You have to work with, you know, coworkers that you really don't want to work with, that you would never want to spend time with outside of work, right? So that's what this is actually saying to me. But it's very valuable because for these people here that they're addressing, who I feel like they're addressing, I would say they might be right. You might not want to be a lover of uh, baking and making ice cream, right? And going to a field where you work at an ice cream shop in a bakery, because now you're not really following your passion. You're following what you like and love to do, but the aspect of the daily grind, the fact that you're still going to have to show up at a specific time, you're going to have to rely on taking a break at a specific time, and all of the other things that I mentioned, right? And then you're also going to have to rely on having to do it at a specific set pace. What if it's extra busy and you don't get a break? And you love ice cream, you love baked goods, but you get to the point where you've baked so many loaves of bread, you baked so many cakes, you decorated so many cakes, and the line never stops. And people keep showing up, and you get to the point where you start to hate the baked goods. I think back to when I first moved to Virginia, and one of my first jobs, it only lasted for about a month, but it was at Burger King. Now, I would tell you this, prior to working at Burger King, I loved Burger King. I loved eating, Burger King Whoppers and stuff like that. I used to love, you know, Whoppers. But once when I started working there around the thing that, I somewhat loved, I thought, hey, this is going to be great. I'm going to be able to get free food and stuff like that. I'm going to be able to see how, things are made and everything. And I'm going to enjoy this. But I noticed some things. I noticed that, the way the preparation of the burgers were, they put it through the grilling section, right? But then once when it's going through the grilling section, they put it in like this these containers. So the burgers would be in the containers because of course you wanted to make sure that you have them ready for when customers come in. And then when the customers come in and they order it, you would take the burger out of the container, you would start making the sandwich, building the sandwich, but then you would throw it into the microwave. So the burger wasn't necessarily fresh. But the one other thing that I noticed was that I used to be able to, get free food, right? Hey, you get a burger off the grill, a fresh one, and I used to like eat the hamburger, and after a while, it started to taste weird to me. I was chewing the Whopper Juniors. Usually, I'd eat the Whopper Junior, and the ground beef or the beef itself started to taste weird. It had like a weird grainy like texture to me, and I'm saying to myself, I never noticed this when I was eating a Whopper normally. When I was just purchasing it as a maybe once a week or once every other week type of outing. But being able to have access to this thing that I thought that I liked and I loved on a daily basis, I'm tasting it, and it tasted off to me. It tasted grainy. It started to make me not really like it as much. And I was starting to wonder, like, why does it taste like this? And I'm thinking about homemade hamburgers at the time. And I'm like, it doesn't taste like a regular hamburger that I make at home. Why is it like this? So things like that can become situations where you're going through the process and you're continuously moving things, you're continuously surrounded by what you're passionate about or what you thought you liked and loved to do, but you have no control over the system itself. Now, when you get drawn into something like that, let's say you're working on that bacon assembly line. Yes, you love all of these fresh baked goods, but you don't want to be forced to work on an assembly line where you're rushing. Your main purpose is that you have to box these items up. You have to box them up. You have to get them to the customer. You have to deal with the customer yourself. You have to constantly see this stream of pies come down the line. Some people might end up dreaming about it, saying, man, I got to go into work tomorrow knowing that there's going to be an assembly line of these pies. And, one after the other, and it never stops. It makes me think back to when I used to work in the call center. Now, I've never been the type of person that liked being on the phone, talking, having conversations and stuff like that. If it's necessary, yes, cool. But not on a regular basis, having conversations for hours. No. I can have a conversation for a little while now, but then I got to go. But working in that call center environment, at first, you know, I had anxiety about actually taking the first calls. But then once when I got skilled at it and became, um, comfortable with the call flow, then it became a little bit better. But after it became a little bit better, then something happened. Call flow started to increase. It was like in the beginning, you were in the training phase. They were only giving you a little trickle, as he talked about in that beginning training. That little trickle came in just to give you a little taste of what you were going to expect once when you hit the main floor, as they said. So in the training, they kept it light. But then once when you got out to the main floor, that's when the consistent flow kicked in. And you're like, okay, now you have to take these calls back to back to back. Now, not only is it that, hey, you got to take these calls, you have these irate customers, okay, you're listening to them, you're solving some problems, but you're also getting frustrated because you don't really like to hear the constant complaints. Now the complaints is starting to play back in your mind. Now you're starting to think about, okay, what is the next call going to be about? Are they going to be like the last caller? Are they going to have the same complaints? Can I get them off the phone right away? You start thinking about your call flow. And then after that, it gets to the point where, okay, you know to expect or you feel like you're going to get a bad call. So you have anxiety about that. And then another thing kicks in. Another thing that starts to become like one of those type of nightmare situations. Now your anxiety starts to build even more because right before the call comes in, there's a sound that you hear. There's a beep, beep, beep type of sound that's constantly going. It's going in a steady rhythm. It's pacing between each call. Now, when a call comes in, it changes. It goes from beep, 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 beep. It does a fast double beep. And that lets you know that a call is about to come in. Now, that becomes your part of your frustration. That becomes part of your anxiety type of situation where now you have an indicator of when the drama or the action is about to begin. It's like a lead in, like that cinematic climax. Once when you hear that, you know that something is about to happen. And then that becomes something that you start to dream about. You start to possibly have dreams about taking phone calls and hearing that double beep sound in your ear. All of these things can play a part in your daily life when you decide to do specific things that either you like and love to do, but you do them in a arena that's not built for you to actually enjoy it. Now, a work environment is not necessarily built for you to enjoy the things that you like and love. So you might not want to do something that you're truly passionate about. It's kind of like one last, correlation. It's kind of like being in a relationship. You love your spouse, you love your mate, but you know that there's only but so much of them that you can take. Your relationship is for at home. When you come home to that person and you do your at home stuff, the things that you do together. But imagine having to work with them on a daily basis. Imagine you never being separated from them. They're part of your actual work now. They're not part of your life, the things that you actually enjoy and like to do. Now they're part of your consistent daily activities that you have to do. And then now you start to resent your mate. You start to look at them like, man, if I have to spend another day, another hour sitting next to this person, working with this person, having to do this task with this person, I'm going to lose my mind because I need a break from a person that I love. I need a break. I can't be in this constant cycle. We need some type of separation. So I'm looking at this, I'm reading this article, and I'm seeing and I'm hearing all of these things. Now, of course, I always want to tell you guys, every piece of information we get is helpful. It's all about how you internalize and how you look at things and how you can actually apply it. Now, my perspective is I believe that you should build your business based off of what you are passionate about and what you actually love. Because building a business doesn't necessarily mean that, let's say, for example, if you have that bakery, if you're the owner of the bakery, it doesn't mean that you have to consistently or every day be on that assembly line. It may mean that you know how to operate the assembly line, but you have employees that actually do it. It may mean that you love to bake and you know how to bake, but you don't have to bake constantly. You can bake, come up with a great recipe, and then you can teach your employees how to actually duplicate that recipe so that you have a system going and it becomes duplicatable and profitable so that you can make a living out of it. But it doesn't become something that makes you its personal slave where you end up hating it because you can't get away from it. There's a difference. There's an employee position and there's a owner position where I believe that this word here, passion, applies and it can be a good thing or it can be a bad thing. Now, is passion overrated? Once again, it depends on how you apply it. If you're applying it to the wrong thing, then you end up having conversations with people and you'll ask them, well, how's that working out? Or is it everything that you thought it would be working there or blah, blah, blah? And they'll give you the response, man, it's overrated, you know. And it's usually they don't say that what they're doing or what they actually love and passionate about is the overrated part. They'll say, man, that job is overrated, man. I have to get there at this time of day. You know, my boss is this, that, and the third. I'm never able to take a break when I want. It's always those variables that comes with the actual position or the choice that you decided to apply that passion to. So I want to encourage you guys to choose to become business owners. Choose to follow your passions. Choose to focus on the things that you like and love to do, and mainly choose to focus on what you are actually skilled at. Now, I don't think I scrolled far enough down to see where it was talking about, it mentioned the word skill, because that's one of the most important aspects. You can be passionate about something, you can like and love it, but if you're passionate about cooking and you like and love to cook, but your food doesn't taste good, if you actually don't have any particular skill in it, then you shouldn't be doing it. Leave that to the skilled person. Leave that to the person that might actually hate cooking, but they hate it because they they're so good at it that people clamor to them. People want them to constantly cook, and they're like, man, I don't have time. Like I don't want to cook for all these people. But when they actually get to doing it, they're the best at doing it. They're the best at it. So you want them to do it. Some people, you can watch them cook and they might have the meanest look on their face. They might look like they hate every process of it. And then you sit down and you eat and you like, damn, they put everything in it. I think about a lot of spots like Caribbean spots, Jamaican spots. I used to think about like how, you go to the Jamaican spot and most times, the cook in the Jamaican spot is never happy. They never really look like they have a smile on their face. It's usually they got the most intense kind of look on their face. And even the person at the counter, they're more like, what do you want? It's like some people naturally have an attitude, but that's the type of person that you're looking for to make your food. Been plenty of spots where you're like, you walk up to the counter and you might be the type that, might talk a certain way in different situations, but once when you get to that counter to order, you you humble yourself in front of that expert. That person asks, what do you want? And you don't get offended. You don't say, hey, why are you so rude? You say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. I want this right here. And you make sure that you don't take too long. You get right to it. You know what it is that you want. Because if you make them, they might be impatient. There's certain qualities about them that, you know, you like, hey, thank you. And you appreciate, I appreciate you. Hey, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. And you let them go do their job and you leave them alone. You go sit back down. You sit down quietly. You wait for your food to come. And then you end up with something that, was worth it. And then you go back to being your normal self or whatever. But that's how things go. And sometimes that's where, you know, liking and loving and having a good personality, good attitude, blah, 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 whatever it is that turns on and off for you, that's when it becomes something of value. And that's when you get to be able to a whole nother topic of showing your personality. I'm not going, I said I didn't want to keep you guys too long, but I just wanted to throw one extra thing in. Just thinking about that, just that whole scenario right there. It makes me think about one of the things that was mentioned in a mastermind meeting yesterday, and we were having a conversation about a specific online marketer, and one of my business partners was saying that that particular person, isn't a nice person. That they're not a nice person at all, that they don't have such a good nice personality, that they talk in a specific way that might be like talking down to you. They might talk with a certain type of attitude. And I made the remark, I said, you know something, I like that. I like that about that person because, I didn't say specifically why I like that, but certain things remind you of certain people, places, and things. Where I come from, I'm from New York. So if you're not from New York, you might not be able to deal with, or, you might not enjoy specific personalities. But I know I've grown up around people that have somewhat of intense personalities. They say things a certain way. They might be a little bit more aggressive in how they address certain things. And they use 4 or 5 letter words and stuff like that. They might, curse on a regular, consistently every other word. But that might be something that turns off a lot of people. They say, oh, I can't be around that. But then to other people, that could be something that attracts them. That could be something that allows them to see that, hey, this is a real person. This isn't one of those cookie cutter people that's just putting on for the gram, as they say. Somebody that, if I was to see them in real life, I expect them to still have that same passion and fire. I expect them to, hey, this is who they are, and they gonna keep it real. So get more geared towards people that are going to actually keep it real on camera or off camera or whatever, right? So it made me think about that. But let's do a quick transition to what I mentioned to you guys earlier, because of course we know that once again today is training day Tuesday. So we're going to go to the foundational platform that we use on a daily basis in order to help us build a profitable online business, right? So we know how to get access to it. We start off with the most valuable document, and we click that, what we consider to be the second line in the document, the one that says grab your mega link. And then once when you get access to it, right, you get access to this full system here that gives you sometimes daily trainings, sometimes multiple times a day. There might be multiple things on. Gives you access to a community where you can talk to other entrepreneurs and get insight as to what's going on, what's working, what people are struggling with, and what you can possibly help them with. But for today's purpose, for what we have going on today at 2 p.m. EST time, there's going to be a live training, and this one is titled Live User Case Studies, AI Getting Them Traffic. So traffic, as we always say, is the lifeblood of any and every business. You need to have people see your product or service in order for them to be able to purchase your product and service, and for you to actually make a living from the sale of that, right? So it says here, you have heard me talk about the AI that brings visitors in. Since then, real members have switched it on. This Tuesday, Torrens' final session, we put their results up on screen and walk through them live. Real people, real visitors watched in real time. So, if you're interested in seeing something in real time, if you're interested in seeing how AI is actually getting people traffic, and I always say the tool is only as good as the person that's using the tool. So the tool might get the viewers to the door, but it's on you to get the person to, take some action once when they get inside. It's kind of like a party, you know. You invite people, the AI invites people to the party. They come to the party, they open the door, they get inside. Now it's on you to, serve up the food, serve up the drinks. When they need a drink, make sure that they have their drink, what they actually need. Make sure they know where they need to go sit. Make sure that everything that they need once when they're inside of the party, that's on you, in order to make sure that they're comfortable and that they're able to get what they need. So the AI does its part. It's pretty much, it's almost guaranteed that it's going to do its part. But it doing its part in getting people there is not going to be the main thing that's going to close the deal. It's all going to be up to you after the AI does its part. So if you want to see this live training, that's going to start in a matter of about 4 hours and 9 minutes from now. And so with that, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's live. We're going to fade to the back, close out as we always do. And I look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's live. And I hope you have a great rest of your day as we pull up our closer. And I also want to advise you that, I did something a couple of days ago that, I was hesitating on doing for the longest. And I haven't done it again yet, but I might just do it today. I actually went live on Twitch, which is a whole different beast. Twitch is more of a community-based type of platform that's built for, content creators that really, want to build communities and actually talk to their followers. And typically, people on Twitch, they're on for hours at a time. So me, I can talk and I can communicate and I can share value with you for hours. So that right there is a platform that I feel might be a little bit more suited for my skill set, my ability to deliver and keep going and going and going, because I like to talk, I like to deliver value. And sometimes it's hard for me to stop when I'm doing these lives, right? But it might not necessarily be, when I'm doing these lives on Facebook in a private group and on YouTube, right? It might not be reaching the exact target audience that really enjoys being educated. Unfortunately, you know, we want to do things that we feel are comfortable, right? As I mentioned before, we want to do things that we hey, we say that, hey, that's the best thing. We try to listen to ourselves and say, okay, this is the spot. This is the place that they say to go, and this is where they said work, and this is where I'm gonna do it, and I'm not gonna learn anything else. I'm not gonna do anything different. But me personally, I understand that it's not always what you feel is the best place. Sometimes you have to step outside of the box and go somewhere that, you haven't been before so that you can get results you haven't gotten before. So Twitch is some place that, I plan on going live again. My first experience, I was live for about 45 minutes or so. It's not the same thing when it comes to the algorithm. They don't recommend you and stuff like that. It doesn't spread out like that. So people have to really find you in order for you to really make it grow. And it's a whole other beast, really, right? So we're gonna see how that turns out. We're gonna continue on there, and be able to give you the results, and hopefully it turns out to be somewhere that I actually learn to like and love to be on. So with that, once again, I'll see you guys in the next live. Hopefully you join us later on today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Woke up to silence, dreams still heavy. Phone screen dry, but my vision stays steady. Mama said, baby, that job ain't your lane. But I clocked in anyway, chasing someone else's game. Dad got me dancing with denial at night. Scrolling for hope, but it's hidden from sight. 10 minutes a day, sounded small at first. But in silence, even whispers can't quench a thirst. Notebook in hand, roll my
erasure and ink. Mapped out my mission before I started to sink. Every post was a prayer, every share had weight. I wasn't selling a link, I was shifting fate. I found my rhythm in the quietest place, where hustle meant healing and grind meant grace. From the corner of doubt, I carved my space. Legacy ain't loud, but it wins the race. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom, now the vision stick. No hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day turned into legacy. People laugh, said she doing too much. To my PayPal ping, then they changed up the touch. No big brand, no six-figure crew, just a mic, some lyrics, and a dream that grew. Tired of waiting for the gatekeeper's call, so I built my own stage, held my own hall. Suno on deck, that's the beat in my chest. GPT spin like I'm born to impress. Said I'd never make it, cool, noted. But now my bars turn pain into coated. From broken to branded, I ain't asked for fame, I asked for freedom and I claim my name now. Hustle berry on loop like healing chance, for the girls who grew up with limited chance. This is more than a challenge, it's breaking the chain. Cause 10 minutes a day rewired my brain. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom, now the vision stick. No hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day turned into legacy. Now my daughter sees me different, eyes full of fire. She said, Ma, your words lift me higher. This ain't a hustle, it's a heart-led path, where math meets message and message meets math. Community over clicks, value over hype. I ain't here to trend, I'm here to type blueprints for the ones still stuck in fear. Let them borrow my belief till their purpose clear. Haters still quiet, but I'm loud with grace. Posting in peace, not a mask on my face.